Hi folks, it's Todd again. I've been doing a blog series on first time people trying to get out and enjoy the outdoors, and this video will be part of the third in the series, and that is just basically teaching someone who's never chopped firewood at camp on how to do that safely, or as safe as you can do it. Okay, and safety is a relative term. There's always going to be risks involved when you're using an edge tool. So this is a 36-inch handle, and it's a full-length axe. Okay, always has a mask or a sheath on it. The second one, which is a step down from that, is a boy's axe or a 3/4 axe. Okay, and this axe here reaches about armpit to fingertip length. That's a good overall size and fit for when you're camping. You can fell trees with this, buckle logs, split firewood, whatever needs to be done with this, you can do this, and this axe right here will get it done. Okay, so that is a 3/4 inch, or a 3/4 axe or a boy's axe size. Now the second or the third axe that I'm going to show you is just it's a hatchet. This is a 16-inch long hatchet. It is a shorter axe, and as they become shorter, when you're chopping any kind of wood or using an edge tool, a shorter one is definitely going to be a little more dangerous. We're going to show you how to do that. This is the axe that I taught my grandson Max how to split kindling with. Okay, for a beginner, this is what we're going to do. We're going to set up our small diameter wood. This is just a clear piece of pine just for this demonstration. You can use it on hardwood, anything else. When you run into knots, that's where you have trouble splitting stuff. But for this demonstration, it's just a clear piece of pine, no knots in it, and it's about a foot long, 6 inches in diameter, so it will be easy to split, and that's what I recommend that you do. You get something that's got clear grain, no knots, and about 12 inches long, just to practice with. Okay, now, so we're going to take our boy's axe here. We're ready to work, so we're going to unsheath it and step that aside. Now, with the piece that we're splitting out here, if I'm standing on this side of the block to split, I want this over on the far side, far edge of that block. Even in the center would work, but it just gives you a little more wiggle room. If your axe misses here, if you miss here, you're likely to hit the chopping block instead of into the ground, or worse, into your leg. Okay, now, so once we get that set up, we're going to stand back with a comfortable stance, just like an athletic stance. Okay, feet about shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent, and we're going to grip. We're going to reach out and see about how far our reach is with extended arms. Then we're going to lift our axe up above our head, hands split. When I lift up above my head, my hands will come together. So it won't be in picture, but when I come up here, raised up, I'm ready to swing down and follow through. Now, the other point I want to make here is, we're not just looking at this big log right here that we're splitting. If I'm trying to split in half, my focus, my energy on my focus, my eyes are looking at one spot, and that's that pith right there in the middle of that log. Okay, so I'm not focusing on just hitting this log somewhere. I want to focus my eyes on where I'm trying to strike. That's my target. Okay, so from here, let me split it, and then we'll put a half up there. Okay, so from here, good athletic stance. I reach out with extended arms. I'm touching the wood. Now I'm just going to drive my axe through it. Okay, now that split very easily, which is what we want. Okay, now once we get that split, the rest should be a little easier to split. But let me show you one of the things when you're using a shorter 3/4 axe or a full-size axe even, what you should be doing, and that is bending your knees so that when you strike this wood here, I'm going to go to the side of it, but when I strike this wood here, I'm bending at my knees so that this axe handle stays fairly parallel to the ground. That way, I'm ensuring that this axe is going to hit this wood and not come off and hit me. Okay, if I'm standing straight up and I swing here and I miss, look, I'm missing the block, my backup block, I'm missing that, and that axe is coming towards my body. Okay, so it's real important that when you do swing through, you know, you're bending your knees to keep that axe parallel to the ground. So here we go. Let's do one more here. if I need to, I can adjust up to get closer to my work. Right there. Now, look at where my axe is. Came through parallel. That's what we want, okay? Now, if you're at camp and you don't have a proper chopping block, which is real likely that you won't, you still can chop wood with firewood with a backed up stroke. Okay, so you're at a campground or wild camping somewhere and you do not have a level surface for your backup, okay? Like a chopping block, like the typical chopping block people use. If you can find a Y-shaped branch, something that's substantial. This one's a little rotted. It's been over there at my other camp for a while, but it's red oak, so it will last a while, okay? This branch right here, I can set my piece of stock, whatever it is that I'm cutting, in here, okay? Just like that. And then when I chop from here, I'm splitting the wood, but I've also got a backup on my axe stroke, okay? So we're already bent a little bit more than we would standing up on the block. Missed. Not paying attention here. But when we do strike and we miss, we've got a backup on this axe. There it is. Now, we've got a split all the way down this seam. The axe is buried into this log safely, and I've got split wood. Okay, now let's say that you've run into, this log you were able to split. Now it's getting smaller. You're just not comfortable splitting this by standing it up. There's a couple ways you can do this. What I like to do a lot of times is I'll just sit here and get my axe started into the end of this. And it needs to be, put your bit near the end, on the edge there, not out here in the middle. It's just harder to get the split started. Put your axe, now this is just that 16-inch hatchet of mine, but I'm going to start it right here in the middle, and I'm just going to tap it in. Okay? I'm going to tap my axe in right there. Now, this piece of cedar is going to split pretty easily. You can practice on cedar, pine, something that's easily split. Okay? Now, from there, I don't need to swing my axe anymore. I've got it centered right in the middle of that piece of wood that I want to split. So from there, I'm just going to pound down on it right here. I'm going to bring both axe and wood up at the same time, and I'm going to hit it not flat. If I hit it flat with this flat on the stump, I'm going to bust my knuckles. So when I hit it, I'm coming down at an angle, giving me some room for my knuckles, okay? Also, my knuckles here will hit the wood if I'm not careful, okay? If I've got too big of a piece in there. So there. Now, what happens is I've got a split started. You can see it coming up the wood, but it didn't split all the way. You could do a couple of different things. You could take your axe out and bring it up further. Don't waste your time doing that. All you're going to do now is I've got the bit of my axe outside that wood. I'm going to take another swing, and my goal is to put the bit of the axe in the edge of this block so that I can twist this. Now that's sunk in right there. Now all I got to do is give that a twist. Okay? Or if it doesn't break on the first one, give it a twist, bring it up a little more, keep doing that until I've got my wood separated. Okay? Now, one other thing. Safety of using these axes, we've talked about that. You're never going to get good at axe work unless you actually get out and use them. The tips that I've shown you today on keeping your backup in the right place, the backup meaning something that's going to stop that axe once it follows through. The other thing is, safety points for new folks into axe work or camping. If I'm done with this axe, I'm going to put the sheath back on it, put it away. A lot of times I'm not done. I've got to go over there and get some more kindling. I'm going to stick this axe into my chopping block. This way, it's not laying on the ground where someone walks by, gets a foot sliced open, okay? So always, this axe right here, this stump is actually red oak, and it's so resilient. Appreciate you watching this one. Pass it on to someone who might need a little axe skill for the next camping trip, okay? All right, guys, take care. Keep doing stuff for self-reliance. Talk to you next time.